Hey everybody! I'm going to tell you some interesting things that I've experienced over the last 7 days, let's say. So, I watched Hellboy 3, okay? Joe and I watched Hellboy 3, and if you've seen Hellboy 3, you'll run into this character who's a really disturbing witch, and she lives inside of like a giant rooster. It's actually really interesting. Well, Joe had a recognition of that consciousness. Certain aspects of that witch he's recognized from other times when he was doing journeys, and different consciousness he's run into and those interactions and what they were like. And he ended up doing a journey to her, and what he experienced was what could be so dark could also be so bright, so full of love. And so we have to work on our perceptions, because there's perception and deception, and they kind of work together a little bit. So the deception of the witch is only merely a facade for the angel. This is a phenomenon I am trying to articulate because it's more than this. I'm talking too about some other ideas I've had. As human beings, we're always trying to become more angelic, or find the angel within us, or find the angel within society, trying to ascend to a higher dimension, so to speak. So in a way, are we running away from our true natures? Is the human race innately dark? Is the human race innately chaotic? What if the one way to reach ascension is to go through the hallway of chaos, the hallway of desecration, which we're all doing actually in life. We're all doing it in one way, shape, or form. But through that hallway of desecration, we become more bright, more angelic, more true. But how are we holding on to the hallway, And how much of that hallway are we holding on to? And these are just all these ideas that have just been running through my mind about what ascension is, and how do you truly ascend? How do you come to peace with your nature, with what it is to be human? How do you conquer the deceptiveness of society, the deceptiveness that we even create for ourselves? How do you access that perception of wisdom that is truly balanced? So this creepy, disgusting, nasty witch Joe does a journey to her and discovers something very special here. And I felt a calling myself to go check on this in my own way. And I will say it was quite a disturbing pathway to get to her. And it was like going through the raunchiest, this rotted out body parts, and stepping on scorpions and all kinds of gross stuff to get to her. And I finally reached this sort of, it was sort of like, you could say it was a rounded hallway, because it had many options here. I could go in this door number 1, door number 2, door number 3. And there was a door number 4 actually on the floor that I was standing on, door number 4, you could say. And each door had a platinum plaque on it. And there was like a rune, a type of shape drawn on it. Anyway, this door that I was standing on actually collapses, and I go sink down into this darkest of the darkest pits. And I've seen some dark stuff. I've seen some really, really, really dark stuff. And this was a very dark place. And I was not ever able to really see her visually, but I could experience her presence. And she showed me what was timeline of chaos. I mean, absolutely the most morbid, the most disturbing of all the chaos. How many human beings are fascinated by this? How many human beings want to understand this, but yet don't want to understand the chaos that exists within themselves? People love horror movies. People love to watch an hour and a half of intense seat of your pants experiences. But what if that was real life? How would we process it? So we want to process it in a safe place, but it's actually part of what we are. It's already part of what we are. And this timeline that she's showing me of pure rancid chaos is also part of what we are. What is ascension exactly? Are we running away from what we are? Are we actually really immersing ourselves into our own identities, our own awareness of our relationship with something more than something without words? It's a collective, it's a consciousness, it's life experiences, it's time, it's history, it's horrifying. It's also on a level, all these souls, all of us, enduring so much, are so worthy of reverence, are so worthy of pure adoration. So in this dark catacombs with this creepy woman, there is nothing here but adoration and reverence of what souls have actually chosen to experience as their gift of learning and comprehension of something more unfathomable than we can process. So, as you can see, this is something I'm just trying to express it. Maybe you can share your own thoughts too about this. It's just kind of like this soup that I'm kind of savoring, I suppose. I don't know if it's a good soup or a bad soup, but it seems like an awesome soup. Not when it's got the chaos images involved. But anyway, as the story continues, I started to feel meaning to all of this. And she created a storyline, all right? And the storyline was actually, I didn't realize it, but was healing me. But it was also testing me too. And it was also paralleling some memories I have within myself. And it was just all kind of molded together into one story. The story is, I'm looking at her, and she's a disgusting, deformed, blobulous thing that's actually someone's child, okay? And it's their daughter. And that someone was me. She was my daughter. And she was incomprehensibly horrifying to look at, okay? And she was telling me that she showed me what would be this lifetime and how abusive I was and how I was unable to accept her. And she was really showing me this in order to make me feel vulnerable or make me say something like, well, I would never do that. Never would I ever do that. She was really trying to get me to say something like this. But I wasn't going to, because guess what? My soul's a part of a chaos timeline. Who am I to say that I've never done that in some lifetime? Who am I to say that I'm perfect in every way, shape, and form, that I haven't done a single thing that has ever been degrading of any other soul, you know? So I told her that, you know, I thanked her for showing me this, because I got the pleasure of experiencing myself in an abusive manner towards a disformed child, and it's not fun. I don't enjoy that. But it also strengthens my character. And I told her that, you know, if no matter what the truth is here, that I'm thankful for her soul to make the choice to be that emanation, to help me grow, to become a more loving person. And all I can do is apologize for what I hadn't quite learned yet. And in that way, is apologizing really necessary, or is understanding the most necessary thing. And that understanding has to develop between souls over lifetimes. And this conversation just sort of completed after she showed me this. I didn't feel a need to linger there until I left. And I hadn't been able to stop thinking about it and that day. And when I went to bed that night, I was still thinking about it and what I had learned and what I saw and what it meant to me, which I still don't know how to formulate the answer to that. So when I went to sleep, I woke up the next day, and I will say I felt like I had the best night's sleep of my life in like years. I woke up and I felt like I must have been dancing and singing, and I must have been like heaven for a while. I woke up and I felt like reborn, totally reborn. And I couldn't believe it. I mean, I couldn't really believe it, because what really prompted that? Was it visiting that creepy witch and having that experience that just prompted this like amazing awakening in the morning? Anyway, that day, something also changed in me. And so I'm going to tell you a little background story, and then I'll tell you what I'm doing differently. All right, so one thing that I've gone through in my life for a lot of years is I suffered from depression. And I'm talking such severe depression that I was literally for hours and hours and hours trying to get my heart to stop beating. So I wasn't aware that I was doing energy work. I wasn't aware that I was psychic. I wasn't aware that I was a healer. I wasn't aware of what I was really doing. But I would find different methods. I would go into an energy space and I would see myself there, and I would literally try to kill myself in that space. And I would do that. I did that for years. Did that for the longest time. And I was really good at just being what the world needed me to be on the outside, but on the inside, it was this. That's how I treated myself on the inside. That's how I felt loved by the world, and that's how I chose to love myself. So I'm too a part of this chaos. I'm too a part of this. I'm not better than anybody else or less than anybody else, because we're all working through this together, right? So even today, I still have echoes of parts of myself coming back, trying to stab me in different places, okay? Just echoes. And this happens every single day. I have an echo of some kind. And I've just gotten so used to it. I just it happened again. It literally takes a second. It's like a version of me with a knife that just comes like in a split second. I just stab myself in, the shoulder, I just stab myself in the leg, or just stab myself in the heart. And it's just there and gone. It's like, what am I supposed to do about this? I've been working on this for a long time, doing a lot of journeys to heal all the different parts of myself, because people don't realize that we're not one mind, we're a collective. So we have many voices connected to many memories, connected to many lifetimes, and we're a collective. So you're not just one soul, you're a collective of all that you've ever been. And that's a lot. So in my collective, I have parts of me that I'm trying to reconcile, whatever hurts I'm still holding on to. How do I find all of these parts of myself? I find them through life, okay? I find them through just life experiences and how I relate to those life experiences. I do journeys, and then I stumble upon something new in different ways. And this, I accept that I can only do so much in one lifetime, and I'm at peace with that. And I know that whatever I come across is exactly what I need to come across right now. And that's how I deal with it. And so anyway, I visited that witch. Joe visited that witch. We had our own unique experiences. And woke up feeling great. And so that day, the usual random split-second moments happen, these echoes of what once was. And I just stopped one of the echoes, okay? So this first one happened, I just stopped it. And I said, what? Can you help me understand why you just chose to stab me in the shoulder? And the echo would say something along the lines, let's just create an example here. Well, I was feeling, I'm experiencing stress. And I don't know how to process that stress, so I'm just taking it out on you because you're the reason why I'm having to process this stress. And so it's like, oh, well, I'm glad we're getting to know each other. This is a collective part of me. I am literally talking to myself, yes, but I have bajillions of parts of myself that I can talk to, and we're all part of each other, okay? So, so it's like, wow, I didn't realize that I wasn't working through stress on a healthy level, and that you were carrying that burden. And I say you don't have to anymore, because we can work together. And then what I've been doing is I create like a giant white teddy bear that's like semi alive, okay? Who doesn't want, when they're a kid, their stuffed animal to hug them back? Okay, so this giant white teddy bear, then I like place this part of me in the teddy bear, and the teddy bear just snuggles. And so I'm just like feeling so soft and warm and loved. This part of me feels loved. And then I start to hear little kittens purring, and like a swimming pool full of cotton balls that I'm just jumping into. And everything gets warm and soft and fuzzy. I just started to do this after I met this like really deep, scary witch, okay? And I woke up feeling great. I learned some really interesting things that I can't even comprehend exactly. I don't know how to articulate what it all means to me yet. But it manifested this choice, this change in me to start doing this. And so in these 7 days, okay, that I've been doing this, I have noticed that these random glitches, these echoes, have actually all but almost subsided. They're almost entirely subsided. It's phenomenal. It's unbelievable kind of thing. This works. This absolutely works. And so another thing that I've been doing on top of this is periodically throughout the day, I literally ask myself, how are you doing, Abby? Are you doing okay? Is there anything that you need to be noticing about what your body needs or the way that you're feeling? Are you taking the time to care about yourself? I check on myself throughout the day, because I don't think we realize how immersed in life we are and how distracted we are from ourselves. That life creates so many distractions from ourselves. So it's important that we take the time to communicate with ourselves, with our collective, get in tune with us. This is important. So I've been doing that too. And I've been noticing that communication in general, I've been noticing this over literally the last like 2 months, that communication, talking through things, has become an essential component of my life. Not just recently, where it's become very really almost like mandatory, but joyfully mandatory. I'm actually enjoying this, and I'm surprised by it, and it's making like a powerful impact. And it's like I'm becoming a new me. It's like I'm completely shedding an old skin. Like I'm totally almost through the other side of this thing. And but communication, and maybe you guys have been noticing this too. Now, there's always going to be people that, well, maybe not. Maybe some people have a life full of like everybody is awesome, but some people might have a life full of some people are awesome, some people are not, are difficult or challenging. But communication, and to get raw about it, to get vulnerable with it, to not feel comfortable saying those things, but to do it in a one-on-one experience, where even write down what it is that you wanted to say, and say that to that person. Even if everything's cool, but you have some like old memories of times when, and they still hurt your feelings to this day. Actually, just actually do a one-on-one and say, you know what, I'm so glad that we're still friends to this day. But I hope you don't mind if I could actually tell you some things that have been kind of still hurting my feelings. And I just want to kind of let that go. And I know just simply talking to you about it will help. And either they're going to be a good listener or it's going to piss them off. But there's value to us continuing to work on communication. And there's something about this that I feel is part of the energies right now. There's a reason why I'm just having these very special discoveries. very special discoveries, these self-healing discoveries. But there's something also important about this chaos timeline and our relationship with it, and our relationship with each other, and making sure that we're not running away from it. We're not degrading it and ascending out of it because we don't want to deal with it anymore. But we got to immerse ourselves into it and come to peace with it. So we can actually walk through that hallway, the degraded hallway, but we don't have to hold on to any of the degradation. We could just move through it, you know? So I wanted to tell you guys this. There was one more thing I wanted to mention, just another technique that has recently been inspired into my life. And you guys could try this yourselves too. You can just try any of these things. But you can even go visit the scary witch if you want to. So I've got a beautiful journal, like a really pretty one. A friend gave this to me, and a mechanical pencil, so that way I can erase anything if I spelled something wrong or used the wrong word, because my friend gave this to me. So I actually finally started using it, and I've decided to call this writing yoga. So how do you do writing yoga? So yoga it takes time, right? And you got to feel the stretch. You got to appreciate the stretch. You got to linger in the stretch. And you got to not be in a hurry. You can't do yoga in a hurry. You need to allow yourself to really experience yoga. And yoga is challenging. It challenges you, but it's extremely powerful. I have not yet attained a daily lifestyle of yoga yet, but I will eventually get there. I know it's my calling to eventually be doing yoga every day. I'm doing yoga writing, so that's the next step for me. Okay, so what I do is I slow down time, okay? And I use my mechanical pencil, and I really connect with my feelings, my collective of feelings and my collective of thoughts, and the way that I feel right now. And I'm not in a hurry to write this as quick as I can, and I actually slow down. With my hand, I literally write on the paper. I'm not typing this as quickly as I can. I'm having a relationship here with myself, with my feelings, with my life. And I'm doing it in an artistic and creative way, because a lot of people who like to actually write with pen and paper or mechanical pencil and paper, they call it a lost art. And I agree. We're moving away from writing, and we're immersing ourselves into something simpler, the keyboard. So to reconnect with this lost art, to slow down and to actually appreciate the letters and the words that I'm choosing, and to really build that relationship with what I'm sharing with myself, and to make it a special gift that I'm giving to myself for later on down the road if I choose to read it. Some people say that we need to let go of the past, so a journal can be a reflection of holding on to the past. So it's really up to you how you want to see that. But I have been feeling a very meaningful development here by doing this for myself, with myself, as a gift to myself. And so that was another thing I wanted to share. And I just had another thing I wanted to share. It just came to mind. Okay, so I want to ask you guys a question. All right, so I have felt this way for the longest time, that life just seems to be getting sped up, like everything has to be done right now, everything has to get done today. And it's starting to become a workplace expectation too, is we got to keep pushing this stuff out. We got to keep getting through, we got to get through the grinder of all of this that we need to accomplish so we can continue to grow the company, so that this year we're even better than last year and even better than the year before that. And we just got to keep getting better and better and better. So and even if it's degrading the planet and it's degrading everything, our numbers are going to be at the top. They're going to be there. So we have to just keep going. And we're kind of like that, we can be that in the workplace. We can be that with a lot of things in life, with dieting, with a lot of different things in life. It could just feel like, but it's not just what we have to get done. It's what feels like life does to us. Like another thing just happened and another thing just happened, Well, I can't just deal with that thing because I have all these other things just happening, and I'm like literally in the pickle of all these things happening, and I can't even keep up. And I'm surprised I still have hair because I feel like ripping my hair out because I have so many things all at the same time. It's like, but I still got to get it all done. Life has felt progressively more and more like this. I have noticed, though, over the last few months, something different. Something doesn't feel like this. It does still feel like the chopping block of it's got to be done today, but it also doesn't exactly feel that way. It feels like it was that way, and it doesn't have to continue to be that way because I can choose to have a relationship with time uniquely different than I have chosen to have a relationship with it before. I have no idea what created this awareness. It was like I stepped into an experience of change and I became that change. But I've noticed that, for instance, and maybe you can also take notice of this for yourself, a lot of us have a dream goal, okay, that we're all trying to get to. Maybe it's retirement, but maybe it's something else. Maybe it's, I don't know what it could be, but these dream goals that we are working on, and sometimes, like, for instance, I have a dream goal that I feel like I should have attained it by now. I should be where I want to be in that dream, but I still feel like I'm leagues away from ever getting there. And something hit me today that time is actually going at a normal pace. And my mind is going at a faster pace than what is actual normal time. And so suddenly I realized that what I feel should be happening in 6 months, actually, realistically, in normal time, should be 5 years from now or something of this nature. And for me to slow down will actually help everything else just fall into place. And perhaps I have been shortening, my expectations on when I want when I want to accomplish certain goals. Maybe those expectations are based on how we are creating society to just be, we needed it done yesterday kind of mentality. And maybe we all need to start becoming aware of time is a lot longer than we are living in it, if that makes any sense. I've been thinking about how, like, let's say you were living in the 1700s. So you're born in 1700, you have a family, you have kids. Those kids then have a family with kids. Then those kids have a family with kids. Life isn't really much different. So any kids that were born in 1700 that had kids in 1700, what their experience was as a kid, now they're the parent, raising kids that relate to, they're all in the same timeline of experiences. And we're entering into the 1800s and then the 1900s and now the 2000s, and it's like we're changing by the decade. Now we're changing by the year. Now we're changing by the month. And it really has felt that way. But maybe it isn't quite like that. Maybe there is a prolonged period of time where we just can't seem to get there yet. One example that we could look at is, for instance, green energy. How long is it going to take before we start to really figure out a way to do this? But maybe that's actually working through normal time, where the rest of us expected it to be done yesterday. And why isn't it there yet? And what do we need to do to make it there? But nobody has the time to continue to find a way. We all have to work together. But there's something about time. This is, again, kind of a hard to describe event. It's just like the chaos and are we running away from the darkness within? It's kind of a hard to describe thing that I'm noticing here. that I just wanted to present it. And maybe you're noticing it too, or maybe you're not. I want to pause for just a minute because I want to just see if there were any other thoughts related to that. And that's pretty much all I had to say. Just so you all know. Give me just a second. I've got to catch up with my own mind. Some part of my collective is behind. Okay, give me a second here. I think that's all I have to say about that for right now. Feels good to share this. It's kind of like if I were to put this into a gift basket, what would it look like? I don't know that it would be articulated into specific items. I think it would just be a hodgepodge of randomly mashed up things. It's like undefinable stuff yet. But it would be cool to hear what you relate to, or what maybe you're going through that could be similar, or maybe none of this makes any sense. It'd be cool to share, because I get to enjoy your guys' perspectives, but you get to enjoy each other's perspectives too. And it's nice to read what other people are going through and what other people are sharing, so that we can have a relationship with people relate to us, that we don't even know, from all over the world. That's the cool thing. So, all I'm going to say there. I hope you guys are all doing well. And if any of you are interested in working with me one-on-one for a psychic session, I'd love to visit with you. Please visit me at my website at abbeynormalswisdomquest.com. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you all have a great day.